Brindley here to give you an update on Social Security and Medicare. Some new updates came out, and I was going to cover those for you. Some changes in 2021, but also just kind of review how Social Security and Medicare are funded and some of the issues that Social Security and Medicare are starting to run into. So I'll get started here. Social Security is really made up of two pieces. The Social Security checks, which most everybody knows, and then the disability checks as well. And most of you, I would think, would know about those as well. So Social Security is retired workers, and then disability is the DI checks that people receive if they go on disability. So the money that's needed for these programs is collected through the Social Security payroll taxes. And that money, it doesn't go into a pot to be used later. That money goes directly from the Social Security payroll taxes to paying the benefits of those people that are retired or on disability. It's a direct line. It doesn't go into a fund to be used at a later date. It's a direct line. Now, there's an exception to that. So the money goes in. If there's any money left over, then it is put into a trust that is invested and held as reserves. So let me read the statement here for you. Money that is not needed in the current year to pay benefits and administrative costs is invested by law in special treasury bonds that are guaranteed by the U.S. government and earn interest. As a result, the Social Security trust funds have built up reserves. So this isn't the primary fund that's being used. These are reserves that can be used to cover benefit obligations and payroll tax income, or if payroll tax income is insufficient to pay full benefits. So they only dip into that if the payroll taxes aren't sufficient to cover the benefits of those retirees and those disability workers. So with that said, in 2020, there is enough money coming in from payroll taxes to pay the benefits for Social Security and disability. However, in 2021, for Social Security, the government's going to start to have to dip into the reserves. Those reserves are predicted to only last until 2035. So once those reserves are depleted, that doesn't mean that Social Security goes away completely, but they're only going to be able to cover 79% of the benefits with the money that's coming in. So, and of course that will go down a little bit each year until looks like 2094, it'll be 73%. They'll be able to cover 73% of the obligation. So there will be a shortfall. And the question is how is the government going to cover that shortfall? For disability, the numbers aren't quite as bad. The Disability Trust Fund is expected to be depleted by 2065. So considerably more time there. And once that's depleted, then the payroll taxes, the revenue from the payroll taxes will be enough to cover 92% of disability. So there's a little bit more time there. With all of that said, the update for 2021 is that the Social Security, the workers are going to get, not the workers, but the retirees, Social Security retirees are going to get a cost of living increase. So they're going to get an increase in their check in 2021. And that increase in their check is going to be 2.3%. It's projected to be 2.3% for 2021. In 2020, they received 1.6%. So, so the increases are still coming as far as income for the retirees. Medicare, on the other hand, is in some dire straits, I would say. In 2018 and 2019, the expenditures exceeded the income for Medicare. And so they're projecting that by 2026, that reserve fund that they're using right now is going to be depleted. So the reserves will be depleted in 2026, and at that time, then they'll only be able to cover 90% of their obligations for Medicare. So that's coming up in 6 years. That's, I think, pretty dire. So Medicare, again, and that's for Medicare is for retirees, healthcare for retirees. By 2026, they're only going to be able to cover 90% of their obligations. So the question is, why are Social Security and Medicare facing these financial challenges? And the fact is that because we've got fewer and fewer workers, there isn't as much money coming in as compared to the retirees. Retirees are living longer. A retiree that retires at age 65, it's not unusual for them to live to 95. So retirees are living a lot longer, and there's not enough workers paying taxes to bring in enough money to cover the Social Security and Medicare for these retirees. So what's the solution? What's being done about it? I can tell you not a lot is being done about it. There's a lot of talk right now, and this is where I would say that you need to start talking to your representatives to find out what are they doing, why aren't they making any moves on this, that type of thing. But there are some possible solutions. So one of the possible solutions is to raise the Social Security payroll tax rate. It's at 12.4% right now, and the recommendation is to raise it another 3.14%. That would cover the obligations. But that has to happen today for that to stay down at 3.14%. They're suggesting that if you wait until 2035 to make any moves, it's going to have to go up to 4.13%. And that's my fear, is that the government will wait until it's just a complete crisis before anything happens. The other option is to raise or eliminate the ceiling on wages that are subject to Social Security payroll taxes right now. So they've got a ceiling on those wages right now. So if you make $200,000, you're paying Social Security taxes on only $137,700. You're not paying Social Security taxes on the other $63,000. So that's a possible solution as well. Another possible solution that they're suggesting is raising the full retirement age. Instead of having it at 67, maybe make it 68, 69, 70, something like that, changing that full retirement age. That's a possible solution. Another possible solution is reducing the benefits that people receive in Social Security and Medicare. I guess another possible solution in my mind is combining some of these. So maybe taking not the full 3.14%, but maybe taking a percent of that and increasing the age by a year and reducing maybe the benefits. Whatever the solution is, potentially combining those. So the key here is really, I think, to talk to your representative. There are two sources online here. You can go to ssa.gov to find the reports. It's a Social Security and Medicare trustees reports. You'll find those there at ssa.gov. The other one is cms.gov. That's C as in cat, M as in Mary, S as in Sam.gov. You can go to those as well. What I would suggest too is, if any of this doesn't make any sense, it gets kind of complicated, give me a call and I can go through some of this with you. Kind of having a back and forth discussion a lot of times is easier than a video like this. But so that's kind of, I'll wrap that up. And until next time, I hope to see you next time in my next video. And take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.